Hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. Hi there. Hi. I think you can hear Jesse. Yeah, you can hear Jesse in the background. There we go. Jesse's hard at work today. Because I've been printing, alright? I have been printing. I finally figured out how to work with SolidWorks. Logic gates, more like logic. Homosexualities! If make it was woke! No, it's really late. You can't tell me like memes that require screaming, because I will scream. I will read them like they're meant to be read in order for the punchline to succeed. And it's Thursday. I'm gonna wake my neighbors up. I'm gonna woke them up. Anyway, I finally figured out how to use SolidWorks. And yeah, rebuild, because there we go. This is meant to be rotated. That's fine though. Can I think I could just do mate, and I think I could just do not tangent on the angle, right? Angle is not doing anything. Okay, never mind. I take it back. Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing. This is supposed to be rotated. Rotate yourself. May I do parallel right here? Oh, and I am good. There we go. There. It doesn't look too right, but I mean close enough. Logic. Woke it! Exactly. Logic gates imply the existence of logic jobs or logic Wozniaks. That's... The Theo virus is spreading. Theo keeps spreading his jokes. I don't appreciate it. Piss off. Yeah, piss off. There we go. Good night, Italian Mappe. Good night. But there we go. I've made this. Which is a thing. Doesn't matter. The point is I finally figured out how it works. I've also been rendering in the background. It takes a fair bit of a long time to render because I'm rendering with 256 samples like a posh. Just posh. That's what it is. How is everyone doing, by the way? I'm so sorry I didn't ask. How easy are gears in SolidWorks? To make or to use them? To make, really easy. There's a toolbox where you can just take the gears out and you can make them. To aligning them, I still have no idea how. Like in SolidWorks, you have mating. Yes, mating is part of, like, crucial parts of engineering, apparently. Which, well, I think that's gross, but I mean, you know. Metal Gear SolidWorks. Hi there, Wizard King Gaming. I love your channel, man. Hope you have a good day. I am having a pretty fine day. I'm being productive today. Really productive. Mickey has never had experience mating. Exactly. I don't have much practice with mating, you know? So yeah, mating is a bit difficult for me in SolidWorks, but you know, we'll get there eventually. Anyhow, today I wanted to test the work, and so this is what I have finished for the video. This I need to script, this I need to animate. There is a lot of work to be done. Make it can't mate because his solid won't work. Metal Gear Solid reference. Yeah, my solid. I don't have my Solid Snake. I don't have my Big Boss, which that's just the character from. Doesn't matter. I was wondering if you should switch to SolidWorks, but I don't know if it's worth learning a new layout. Switch from what to what? Oh, Fusion. I don't think so. I think all CAD software has a pretty similar layout. I don't know exactly. I've only done SolidWorks. Fun would have a pill to get SolidWorks. I don't appreciate the direction that these bits are going in. I mean, you're not wrong, but I still don't appreciate it, you know? Honestly. Y'all need Jesus. Okay. We admits it. Beyond. And there we go. Those are the logic gates. The basic. We can have more complex ones like EXO. Turn on if the first or the second input is on, but not both. Not really important right now. There we go. Now, after this, Fusion is annoying to make complex and pretty things, but it might be just a skill issue. I mean, I know that organic things are difficult in all CAD software because, you know, it's not meant to be used for organic things. You'd use like Blender sculpting. Hey man, do you have any advice for making videos on YouTube? Yes, don't do it as a hobby. Or as a job, for that matter. I would suggest that if you want to do it like for fun, that's a good idea. But don't commit. Trust me, I would know. It's not this bad idea. That's my advice. Don't commit. It's not worth it. Don't commit to sudden recurring enemy in the hit series Steven Universe. Both hate Fusion. Oh, actually, no, let me add a new rule on Discord. There's a long chain of thought, no point of explaining it, but that just reminded me. I should add a rule. Let me move some of the things on my desk around so I have more space. Rule 40, which is one gets only one segment fluid reference a day. Is it just a lot of work, or is it more that there is no payoff? It's a lot of work with no payoff. Yes, both at the same time. The thing is, I don't think you should make YouTube videos for the sake of making YouTube videos. I think YouTube videos should be a tool, not the terminal goal. So basically, making YouTube videos for the sake of making YouTube videos is a bad idea. So for example, in my case, I'm not making YouTube videos because I want to be a YouTuber, far from it. If I could be not a YouTuber, I wouldn't be a YouTuber. I don't like the fact that I am actually a YouTuber. That's not a nice job description. However, the reason why I make YouTube videos is because I want to explain science. I want to do science, and YouTube videos are just the only thing that let me do that. So it all depends on what kind of YouTube videos you want to make. If you want to work on some kind of projects, for example, and you would like to document your journey, then I think it's fine. I think that's a great idea, and I think you should totally do it. Why have a payoff when you can have pay on? Yeah, that's called the rent. I have a pay on. Alright, let's wait for this. I should decrease the samples. We're not made of time, you know? Well, I am, but you all are mortals, so you're not really made of time. Trying to make games and document them, then I think that's a great idea. If you're trying to make games and document them, I do think that's a great idea. Use YouTube as a tool, not as a... YouTube as a tool, not as like a terminal goal, the point. Anyhow. Said make it a YouTuber. Also, don't take advice from people on the internet. That's another thing. Don't ever do it. It's a bad idea. You shouldn't listen to us. What's really annoying is that right here I need to add a logic gate to my geometry nodes, but I can't do it right now, it's rendering. Hello everyone and welcome into yet another Make It Watches Paint Dry episode. Called Timons, so Make It talks to one of his Timons. Exactly. Timon is just my psychedelic delusion. My schizophrenia manifest. Is my YouTube lying to me? I think my YouTube is lying to me right now, you know? I don't mean to be that guy, but I think my YouTube is lying to me. There are 0 viewers right now. Whoa! We have 0 viewers on stream. That's crazy. Oh, what a shame. I really thought I would be streaming today with someone, but no, there are just 0 viewers. No one is watching. That's so unfortunate. Hi there, Schlock. Hi, welcome. I like that name, Schlock. It's has a rhythm to it. I like it. I wish there was someone watching the stream. It would make this bearable. I don't know what should we do in the meantime, because my 3D printer is printing. My Blender is rendering. What am I to do? Well, we could do research for a video, I suppose. But I want to do research for something fun. Something exciting. Not quantum mechanics again. What should I make research on? I really want to program something. I really want to work with DLLs, but the issue is that, as I already mentioned on plenty of occasions in the past, it's difficult for me to work with DLLs for a video when I'm still this far away from explaining what DLLs even are. It's also difficult to focus on complex things in computer science. Oh, I know something. Phosphorescence. I need a simple phosphorescent chemical. Damn it, I keep playing with random pieces of plastic on my table and keep dropping them. Must be so loud. Let me move them all the way. I need... A construction that was doing away, yeah. Really random, but how do you make the character and make him move like that? That's just Discord reactive. That's not the character. Those are just the 2 PNGs. Those are just 2 PNGs I rendered of 3D Make It. And it's something called Discord reactive, where it basically switches between images depending on if I talk or not. So, hold on. It is just this. There we go. It's just a 3D scene. Don't mind the make it, that's just... I was actually modeling this one based on myself. This specific 3D make it. Yeah, I was trying to make him look more like me, personally. I think... yeah, I think I've done a pretty good job. Anyway. Thank you, Jesse, for letting me know you finished the thing. I love you, Jesse. You're great. Now, what was I trying to research before I immediately ADHD forgot what I was doing? I was about to look up something and then I instantly forgot. I don't have Adderall. I should really get a prescription. Phosphorescence. Okay, never mind. Coffee works just as well as Adderall, apparently. Phosphorescence. I spelled it correctly on the first try. I am impressive. James Cameron, Lycan, are you high right now, perchance? I'm just wondering. And what we are looking for is some kind of phosphorescent material I could actually make. Now, sulfide is tricky. Didn't call me Lycan for nothing. Okay, sulfide is tricky because if I remember correctly, not scan only paint, there we go. If I remember it correctly, sulfide is basically S with 2 H's, which is apparently really difficult to make. Let's see, calcium sulfide. Isabel, if I don't understand a single thing you are talking about, you mean chemistry-wise or computer science-wise? Because I oscillate between a lot of topics, so don't worry. The thing is, I oscillate between a lot of topics, so it's really difficult to... Wait a second. Did I... No, sulfide is just S2 minus. What am I talking about? How do you make sulfide then? Organic chemistry. Oh! Oh no, it's CSC. Hold on. An organic onion of sulfur with chemical... Oh, that looks safe. That looks very safe. That looks very, very safe. I'm certain I'll be fine. Needs of energy longer, essentially. Yeah, Theo, I know the theory completely, but what I need practice. I need some kind of material I can make. If I could crack sulfide, then I could just make calcium, zinc. Yeah, just calcium, zinc. That's it. We'd have red versus green. But how? Working phosphor? No, sulfur, not phosphor. It's 5 AM here. I understand, Schlock, I understand. Bye. Bye, see you, have fun. Oh wait, I didn't switch to live chat, oops. Lycan was just... I didn't see the Lycan Theo messages look like Theo was talking to himself. Okay. Production. We have calcium sulfate. Carbon, which, wait, creates calcium... Oh, a sulfide, right, that's what I'm looking for. I got so confused that for a second. I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I need. Okay, calcium sulfate with carbon. Carbothermic. It's... I don't know why it sounds funny to me, but it does. Calcium sulfate with carbon will give us calcium sulfide. And can react further, but we don't want it to react further, do we? No, I can stay at this. Just stay there. Oh, LeBlanc process. A byproduct. Wait, hold on. So, like, I need this, but not this. Yeah, no, that sounds easy. Why does your bot keep eating my Patreon role? Does it really? Did you connect to Patreon on the right account? Because maybe you connected to like a different... Maybe you connected with a different Patreon account. Yes, then never mind. I have no idea. Hold on, I need to find some messages from you to give you the rank. There we go. Mickey, what do you think about women's rights? I believe you should think about should make more efforts towards the wrongs. More effort? Do you mean we need more women wrongs, or I think we should have a healthy balance of rights and wrongs and lefts for everyone. Okay, so carbothermic reaction is metal oxide using carbon as a reducing agent. I like it so far. That's such a professional, like, setup for... I know that I'm focusing on the wrong thing, but that is such a professional setup for visualizing a reaction. I mean, look at it. It's a perfectly clean table. The only things in the middle of the room are the things that are required for the reaction, and it's like in perfect focus. The person cleanly standing on the side. I just want to... I know I'm focusing on the wrong thing, but I mean... This looks safe. Okay, so let me understand. Basically, all right, no, it makes sense. You're burning it with carbon, right? So you're burning it with carbon to pull away all the oxygen. That makes sense. No, that checks out. That's simple. Right, you have 4 oxygens, so you're just burning it with carbon so that the carbon could just pull out all the oxygens. That checks out. And then we don't want it to keep going because once the carbon runs out, then sulfur starts. Wizard, thanks so much for donation $5 towards charity. Yes. What would you like? Okay, first of all, I should explain the deal because a lot of people don't understand the deal. Here's how it works. I have a website which tracks every single donation anyone has ever made towards charity over the course of these streams. What would you like your name to be on this website? There we go. Mason, just Mason. I just want to confirm because I can change it, but you know, changing it is quite a bit annoying, so I would like to confirm. Just Mason. Alright, Mason. Mason, M-A-S-O-N, Mason. Okay. Mason, amount $5. And Mason, there you are. Oh, let me remove some of the bottom people. There we go. Mason, Nitro. There you are. That is your slice of pie. I'm broke now, but fuck cancer. I agree. I'm fucked now, but broke cancer. There we go, Mason. That's your slice of pie. Hence the name, the slice of pie. Get it? It's funny because like the slice of. It's funny. All right, there we go, Mason. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you. I should make like a counter that counts the total amount of money collected. It wouldn't be all that difficult. I mean, hold on, because I'm pretty certain all of the data, yeah, full data, and then amounts. Which means we should be able to just do console log full data amounts, like 0, for example. That should give us a number. Alright, like 4, and like 8. Perfect. So now this... I never remember which is which in what programming language, but I'm pretty certain length. No. Dot length. Perfect. And now for x is equal to 0, for var I is equal to 0, I is smaller than full data amounts length I plus plus, and then right here x plus equals full data amounts I, and then console log x. Hi the lamp, hi, welcome. I'm just trying to figure out how much money we've collected for charity. Almost $3,000. 2,909 and 38 cents. Almost $3,000. Pretty close. And website famous now. Exactly. It's gonna stay here forever. It looks pretty neat. I always say that I should work on the website, and then I never do. Hi the unplug lamp. What's going on? I'm making ADHD. You know how it is. Make it. I'm using my one daily Freud reference on your mother. Unbelievable. Okay, but this checks out. Calcium sulfate is something I could manage to get, especially since I could even make some, because this looks like something you could make with... Oh? Color me surprised. Plus 1/2 O2. Is that really what chemistry? What can you really do halves in chemistry? I have no idea, to be honest. Okay, so sulfur dioxide, that's easy. Oxygen, I can manage to find some oxygen, I suppose. And then calcium, carb something. Produced as a byproduct number process. Okay, so actually calcium sulfate is something you should buy, isn't it? Yeah, alright. Okay. Now what about zinc sulfide? Could you make it the same way using zinc sulfide? Please tell me it uses the same method. Production. Of course it does not, but it's close. Oh, that's where you needed the sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide. Right. The wizard again. Damn it, I need to open it. Ah, never mind, I have it open. There we go. Thanks so much again, Mason. 2. There we go. Restart it. And now... There, you're red now, because colors are just randomly picked based on how high you are. Hold on, let me just... There you go, 7. Yeepy indeed. You can make it inside your body by drinking antifreeze. Genius. Today we're gonna do some biochemistry. There we go, Mason. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're getting the charities. We're getting the charities indeed. Alright then. Zinc sulfide is made out of zinc, or we can do it this way. But then... zinc oxide feels... Well, I mean, I have zinc. Igniting mixture of zinc and sulfur. I can also make that as well. That's really easy, in fact. I have enough chemicals just in my closet to make this. This is something I can just make. Wizard, damn it, I keep needing to add it. I'm fine, I'm joshing around. It's great that you're donating. And... there we go, Mason 9. There we go! Preventing Cancer Foundations, $1 at a time. Exactly. It's the Prevent Cancer Foundation. We're trying to prevent cancer foundations from existing. We're trying to put them out of business, if anything. There we go. Thank you, Mason. Thank you. That's great. I'm just gonna have the terminal ready because I know another one's coming. I can feel it. Alright then, alright. me not like cancer, and I respect it. I also am not the biggest fan of cancer. Not a fan. I've tried. I don't like it. Okay, so these are actually fairly simple reactions. All I would need to do is get some calcium sulfate and carbon, which $5. I knew it. Actually, I think that's gonna actually put you way higher in the table. Hold on, let me see. Mason, $5 again. You're right here right now. There we go. There we go, 14. You're in front of Dexa and Tyler and all of those people. Pretty high up. Thank you, Mason. Again, I knew it. I knew that I shouldn't have turned off the terminal. I knew it. I am so glad, by the way, that I created this easier way for me to add donations, because otherwise I would have had to use my laptop for every single one of them. But not this time. This time I actually thought ahead a bit. It's like gasoline sugar to me for some reason. It's because okay, well, I mean, the reason is because glucose, I imagine, and ethanol. Those are just $6. Keep going. My goodness. Mason, $6. All right, let's see. You're still yellow, but this time you're the higher yellow. This time you're this yellow right here, in front of Quasar and Ethan Gibbons and Mac Becker. You are at the top of the 20s, in fact. $20, by the way, that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Thank you, Mason. It can also single-handedly bring us to 3,000. Okay then. Well, okay. Oh, the animation rendered, by the way. We've just been goofing around for such a long time. All right, I remember now what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to... Yeah, be broke. Don't donate too much money, though. It's fine. Appreciate the donations to charity is important. Well, it's lovely. It's nice. It's great. But don't go broke for it. I must go. I understand, Lamp. Bye. Have a good one. Hold on. Let me think. Right. We need an EXO gate. Ooh, another dollar. Hold on. Mason, $1. Now you are ahead of all the 20s. $20 a lot of money. Someone fortunate enough to not live in the present day America. To me, I live in Eastern Europe, right? $20 is a lot of money. $20 is almost a day's worth of minimum wage, basically. That's a lot of money. Okay, now what I want to do right here is add an additional logic gate. This time, that logic gate will be an XOR. That's what we want to do. And in order to do that, we'll need a join cubes, a gate, and we're gonna have an AND, because why not? We're gonna switch to an XOR anyway. And then it's going to be this, and then it's going to be this. Cube of wisdom gets in, and a button. There is the gate, wait, and there is this one. And button goes in right here. There we go. Now we have our logic gates, and we want to switch it from I live in America. A month's rent was $2,000 for just the room. That's not little. I do agree. I do agree that is not a little bit. It's 3.5 times the average income. Damn. My rent is less than $1,000, and I'll be moving soon to a cheaper apartment. In a month, I should be moving because it's too expensive for me. So $2,000? That I wouldn't. Again, another donation. All right, and Mason 1. There we go. Let's see. Mason, this yellow. Oh, wait, this yellow. There we go. 22. That's correct. And what we want right here is another logic gate. This time for that logic gate to be an XOR gate. America number 1. There's this website I know of. It's highly addictive, which is called Cost of Living, I do believe. We can actually check. I don't mean to get distracted again, but I do get distracted all the time. Cost of Living. I don't remember if it was .org or .com. Another dollar. There we go. Adding it again. $23. There we go. Cost of living. Not number, only cost of living cost.org. Sorry. Right here we can check country. Let's compare it to something average in. What would be average in Europe? Italy? Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, there's a pretty significant difference. Well, Poland. Yep, there's a pretty significant difference there. But to be fair, monthly salary is also, you know, massive gap there. I'll be back on the 20th of May and donate more, but now I'm just broke. Don't donate all your money though. You've done enough, Mason. It's fine. It's fine. You don't need to do more. Okay, this goes in right here. And then what we need is we need to add yet another gate. Like this. And we need for that gate to not be an OR, only for it to be an XOR. So right here, here's how it's going to work. We will go in and go in and go in again. There we go. Told you, fuck cancer. I like it. I'm gonna do my own thing. More motivation to move to Europe the moment I graduate. Hey, you already know my opinion, Tha. I am extremely European. Some people question if I'm gay or European, but we don't talk about that. 0.85, correct? Is that the right one? I do believe so. Okay, well that's bad. Oh, because that's the color of... Right, I'm an idiot. Yeah, okay. Right here. There we go. That looks like an XOR. Now the only other difference will be that it will be OR and not... Actually, wait, can I just do an XOR? Not AND, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, no. How did you do an XOR? I already forgot. First or second? Try it again. My card declined. Don't bankrupt yourself for charity. No, the money's but no. Don't say that. You should keep some for yourself. As I mentioned, I don't want to pressure anyone into donating to charity. Because listen, I get it. Money is important to have for the whole, you know, food and shelter and all that jazz. I can relate to that. Never less than the Polish quite movies. Gay European sounds like a Fire Emblem reference. It said, I think it was Legally Blonde, if I'm not mistaken. Depending on the time of day, the French go either way. Now, or would give us 0, 1, 1, 1, and not and would give us. Wait. Not and would give us 1. No, I'm an idiot. Or gives us 0, 1, 1, 1. Then we want some kind of thing to give us 1, 1, 1, 0, and that would be not or. So like 1, 1. Yes, not or, which is, it's this one. This one would give us 1, 1, 1, 0, and then them and it together gives us 0, 1, 1, 0, which is what we want. Which means and right here, and then or, and then 2 knots. Let's see if I got it right. One of them is on. Oh wait, yeah, I need the input. There we go. Perfect. The only problem is that inside the gate we're getting this one is not lighting up properly, but that's a simple fix. There we go. I got no uses for it, but I mean, you could just like, I don't know, developing hobbies. Have you tried building bombs? I would just like to mention that's not me saying you should. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying it's educational. That's my argument for future reference, in case I would like to build on YouTube. Never mind. Let's get back to just charities. You know, making animations. So basically, next we'll have to do this, and we'll have to move the camera a bit higher up, more to the right. And then we'll reorganize everything. So we'll reorganize all the gates, like so. I'm gonna move this one right here. There we go, and then there we go, and then there we go. Yep, that seems reasonable. Motion blur is on. Perfect. Render animation again, except this time let's try it with 32. With 32 samples, see how that goes. I do not condone this behavior. I have just advocated for Make It 2045 announcing candidacy for political position. There, right there. Look at the dun, 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 dun. Look at. I don't remember the beginning of the song. Gay European. I think it's just as Max. You're the great. You already talked the talk. Are you telling me that I would make a great politician? That feels like an insult. Make it. Do you like horror games? Not really, because they don't scare me. It's a fairly big issue. A while back ago, I had a bet with a friend of mine, playing 3 games where if one of them would scare me, then they would win. And the games were, she picked one, I picked one, and then she picked another. She picked first Welcome to the Game, I think that was the name. The problem is, though, the game was too complicated for me, because I'm an idiot, so that one didn't really count. Then I picked Dark Deception, but we both agreed that it wasn't scary enough. And so then she picked the pixelated one, if I remember correctly. What was the name of it? The pixelated with the preacher. And yeah. The bet was over who would donate money to charity. In the end, we both did so. In other waters or still calls the deep? Hold on, let me check. I mean, obviously both of them, I'm expecting both of them are thalassophobia, aren't they? Or still wakes the deep? Do you mean still wakes the deep? Yeah, I'm assuming both of these are thalassophobia. And the other one you mentioned was In Other Waters game. Ah, that's the one with the music. A xenobiologist. Fuck no. Dredge for some comfy and some uncomfy fishing. Dredge, you say? That could be fun, actually. That could be 40% off? Oh. Oh, but that doesn't look scary, though.
Peggy 12.
Shut up. I'm talking to myself. Doesn't look scary, though. I know. Still, Wakes the Deep looks kind of scary. What did you send me? Did you just... Fine. Fine. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, fine. You've convinced me. This kind of looks scary, but I would need to check how expensive it is. I'm waiting for my Steam to turn on. I can't help but think you're saying curse pronunciation or J-Reg every single time I say Drej. I don't blame you. That's on me. Oh, it's been censored based on my preferences. That's... Huh. Partial nudity. Oh yeah. No, that doesn't make sense. Partial nudity, that's why it's excluded. Because I don't want them... I don't want them banning scenes on my stream. Oh, that does look fairly creepy. That's a maybe. That's a maybe. We could maybe. We'll see. We shall see. No promises, but maybe. It could be a fun game. Patreon exclusive stream. No, I don't do those kinds of Patreon exclusive. Well, I mean, no, that's a maybe. Because I feel like the idea of me playing a game that's tailored to my specific kind of phobia, I think that could be fun. That could be a fun piece of content. It's not good horror for me. The true horror is just the true kind of horror is just getting demonetized on YouTube, honestly. Or even worse, the video getting shadow banned. Sounds like a great special, yeah. That's kind of when I want to play Subnautica 2. Like, that's exactly why I want to play Subnautica 2. It's because I feel like Subnautica 2 would just go perfectly with my discomfort with deep waters. Alright, then we'll have 480 like this. We turn off motion blur. And we just do the rendering. Turn off. Okay. Now let's just keep doing the thing that I do. What's kind of annoying is I need to like actually follow the logic gates in order to turn these on or off. So this to 0, but then we want this to 0 and we want this to 0. There we go. Yes. I just have a really bad medical phobia, but I've grown past it. Medical phobia? That's a curious one. So like of hospitals or just medicine in general? Because I know a lot about my phobia. I was never scared of heights, I was never scared of anything like that. What I was scared of, however, was... It's not really scared, it's great discomfort. It's basically... The reason why it's deep oceans is because in deep oceans, like, you're vulnerable at any angle. It's... There's gonna be something massive there, it's obviously gonna be in a big ocean, and it combines basically everything. You have massive monsters, you have everything... The light really quickly disappears, so you can't see them, and you're vulnerable at every angle. It just... not nice, you know? It's not very nice. I don't mind now, but irrational and not applicable in game version. Never say never. Maybe there's some kind of creative developer out there who can actually visualize those fears. At 8, I had nightmares about getting cancer. Okay, that's a fairly reasonable fear. Now, you know what? Now that you mention it, that's a kind of a reasonable fear, I would say. I'm kind of worrying of getting just getting cancer. I would say that's pretty fair. All right, what's next? We have. One of them is on. It will be on, and I going, but this is on refresher because I kind of already covered in the first episode of the series. Next is the register. Oh shucks. Mateo was struck by lightning. Is that why your name is Black Thunder? That would be pretty neat origin. J horror games are much actually. I'm just not the target group for it. That's fair. Not fearing is to fear fear. Poetic, philosophical, and garbage. Wisconsin way more extreme than warranted. But still, that's a pretty reasonable phobia, all things considered. So then we need to transition, make it go in trance, to a register. Which means that the best way to do it would be probably to do the typical make it transition thing. Which will be to select it with PNG and alpha. There we go, and then 500 to, let's say, 600, because why not? And then we're going to have this go up. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. What's going to get out of that fun to play? I get the original aspect, but I can get that from a difficult boss fight or platforming section. That is true. There were animals perfect at hiding. How would we know? Purple orcs. It's a purple orcs reference. You've never seen a purple orc. That's because they're that good at hiding. That's how we would know. Just how we know that purple orcs are really good at hiding. Because they are. They are really good at hiding. You just wouldn't know about it. Okay, now this... make it bigger. There we go. That's so dumb. Such a dumb animation. Hold on. It has to be smaller. Like let's do 0, 0, 0. And then let's move it up for now. And of course, I forgot to keyframe it, apparently. There we go. Let's delete this keyframe. Yeah, that seems good enough. Render animation. What if the Hatman is real, but he only goes to people who are tripping balls, so people think he's fake? I know that's what I would do. Deep Space could be full of vampires for all we know. They are just invisible to mirrors. I find it nice that all donations from your streams go to charity. I'm curious if there's a particular reason for that, because charity seems kind of rare on YouTube, I think. Well, that's why they're called charity checkups. There isn't really any reason other than the fact that I wanted to collect money for charity. And so we do collect money for charity. That's the reason. The Maskman. That's actually true. I only actually showcase my godlike abilities to people who are either insane or high, or sometimes both. And then, you know, I just screw with them like that. Honestly, that's that's such a cruel thing. Can you imagine just spending years secretly developing the best magic trick in existence, then going to someone who's like a little bit drunk, a little bit tipsy, but not completely. So, you know, they're a little bit drunk, and then performing that magic trick in front of them, then saying no one will ever believe you, and like the 3 levels of irony where on one hand no one ever believed them because they were drunk, on the other hand they saw it with their own eyes, but on the third hand you didn't actually do it because it was a magic trick. I am a cruel person, now I think about it. I had never about cats from under the couch dragging me under like normal cats. Wafers not sharp particularly silverback mirrors because silver was also have holy properties and would refuse to show the image of evil. Oddly specific. I would think that, I don't know, silver mirrors would like kill vampires or something, not just make them invisible. Honestly, I kind of like that idea of just, you know, of mirrors just deciding that something is evil and it's like, no, I ain't giving you the screen time. And then you would have just like a very pissy mirror where if you do something mildly annoying, it just would refuse to show you. Alright. Alrighty. Let's do the thing that we do. And make a register. Have you ever been focal point of a hyperbolic mirror and the sun? Powerful light, I suppose. Hey, that's fair. Let's add in like a little bit of light here to the scene. Just a little bit. And then... Is it midnight? It's past midnight, yes, which means I can actually download another material. Because I can only download 50 things a day. Fortunately, it's past midnight, which means the timer should have reset, and now I should be able to just download another 50 things. Oops, I need to log in first. Are you making a CPU? Well, I've already made like a model CPU. I don't know what to call it. Technically, it's a CPU, I suppose. Argument is there to be made. What kind of metal should we use? Oh, I like these panels. I do kind of want them to just get progressively more worn out as the video continues. I think that's a pretty neat idea. So then this, and then this. And then finally just stone. Or alien walls, I guess. Yeah, this looks fine. Oh, piss. No, don't download in 8K. Download in like 2K. Yeah, no one needs 8K. Hold on. Actually, don't hold on. Keep talking, because I Oh, piss counter. Is it? Was it what the first piss of the stream? Was it really? I didn't even know this. I thought we would have one already. Extract. There we go. Now that we have another set of metals, time to add them all. This, then we can have the height like this. Then we're gonna have the metallic like this. And then we're gonna have the roughness like this. Perfection. If instructions are stored in the same place as data, how does the CPU know if it's instructions or data? Well, that's because, first of all, instructions are not really saved in the same place as data. Different blocks, long story. And second of all, instructions are treated differently as data. And third of all, you can pass data as instructions and you can pass instructions as data if you like to. Basically, the reason why is because imagine like a single block of memory. You divide it in two. At the top, you save the executables. At the bottom, you just save all the memory. So right here, you would have all the data. Right here, you have all the instructions. Then all you do is you just design a process in a way where it only takes the instructions from this half. But if you want to, then you can pass data into these instructions and you can take out these instructions and pass them into data. I am oversimplifying it extremely, but the point is there is nothing stopping you from using data as instructions and instructions as data. But so there is no need to actually store them in different ways. The reason why like this separation can be maintained is because your operating system, or BIOS, I guess, would just never store instructions here, would just never store data here. Like, when it comes to software-wise, instructions and data are divided. They are treated differently. Very differently. Okay, this... I think that's a good enough explanation. I don't need to go in depth. No one cares. Yeah, each time everything is gonna get just a little bit brighter and just a little bit more messed up. Then what we'll have is the register. Flint and steel. Register. You can think of register as a micro book that holds a value. So basically a box signal 0 or 1 or 10 or 125. How? Great question. We'll answer in a sec. But first, a box. Oh my goodness, why are you like this? Give me back my geometry nose. Shouldn't you be glowing? Oh, you are glowing. Okay. Well, I didn't put the floor low enough. There we go. And we can also put this a bit lower. -1. -1. Then we can scale it sideways by 2. And there we go. We have a register. Perfect, perfect, perfection. White. Oh yeah, because we edited the way white functions. Right, I remember. There we go. And I also remember messing up the way text works because I didn't plug in the switch in the right... I did plug it in the right place. What happened then? Oh yeah, this. Yeah, okay, there we go. But the CPU runs software, and the software tells what are instructions. How does the software run? Actually, class, that will be the point of this video. That will be the point, funny enough. That's why I'm making a CPU. To explain how it works exactly. And you'll see why there's like no need to differentiate between them. But first we need to get this, first I need to explain what register is. Yep, there we go. That's perfect. Now all we need to do is just save it into the register portion, and then let me actually select all the keyframes, delete all the ones that came beforehand, we don't need them, and move you to 0. Perfect. Is the other one finished? If only Windows could open up my taskbar, then I would know. I swear, Windows is just like glitching like crazy. It's really glitching like crazy. Whatever. Anyhow, we need to wait for this to render. The render time for each frame will go down and down because a bigger and bigger portion of it is just taken up by something that's transparent. Just Alpha 0 region. Which is a reference to Alpha Legion. Anyway, everyone, how are your days going? I don't know, make conversation. I'm waiting for this to render. If I finish the register segment today, which I might, then if I finish the multiplier segment tomorrow, if I finish the memory segment in 2 days, and multiply tomorrow, memory, then CPU on the 8th, that means the video should be in 3 days, actually. My day is going gay as usual. That's good. I'm glad to hear, Catman. I really am. I'm glad to hear. I wish mine was going as well, but unfortunately, well... Isn't it compiler that's all ones and zeros, so should just let me multiply the boolean by a string array? I don't know what to tell you, Black Thunder. You can do that in C. Like in C, you can do that. I don't know. That sounds like a you problem for not programming in the best programming language in existence. There for a compiler Minecraft and had them separated, so called the Harvard architecture. Not that I don't trust you. As I mentioned, it's complicated. It is really complicated. But basically, allow me to demonstrate. You know what? Why am I doing it this way? Just allow me to demonstrate. Desktop projects code computer science video. There we go. At least kind of allow me to demonstrate. This should be video 4, by the way, not video 3. Because we're kind of making another video in the meantime. Whoops. Video 4. All my add-ons are just screaming at me immediately, because why not? But yes, there we go. Video 3. What I'm about to do will be... Professionals would call it a really bad idea. But yes, let me just include the file format. There we go. That's because, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna be doing a bit of guessing I'm gonna be doing actually a bit of guesswork here. I have one way which I think could be decent to show you what I mean, but I could be wrong. So take this with a grain of salt. That's because this way would look something like this. You have a function called test function, and right here I can just do a test function which will just add 5 to it. That's it. So we just, I don't know, do a 6, right, print it as a number, and then we got 11. Great. Now, what is this function? Genuine question. What is it? Well, you see, right here we can see it in code form. We can see what it does. However, the information of what that function does still has to be in some way delivered to the CPU in order for the CPU to execute it. And so as such, if you want to know what that function actually is, then you can just go to test.exe and you can, well, open it with a hex editor or a text editor if you want. And somewhere in here, you will have a binary description of what that, well, a machine code description of what that function does. And that is just ones and zeros, that is just data. So yeah, it is separated normally, because, well, it's a bad idea to run data and it's a bad idea to use code as data, obviously. However, it doesn't have to be. That's why right here, instead of printing that function, what I can do instead is, I really wish I remembered the actual proper way to do it, but I think it is void pointer int. I really wish that was a proper way to... Hold on, I can look at my old code to see how I did it back in the day. Users, there we go. MKT multi-app. I remember exactly where I used this, because it was in source, it was in Vulkan, and it was in delq. And in delq I had... void pointer function, but how did I define it? I'm guessing it was h. There we go, that's what it is. Perfect. Void pointer test function int v is equal to, oh, so I guess I could just do address question mark. Can I do that? Is equal to test function. I don't remember. I hope this is the correct way to do it, but I could be completely wrong. Oh yeah, because it's a void. There, it just worked. And there we go. What we get back is the address in memory which stores that function, in case you want it. So, yes, that is true, you know, like, data and code are separate. However, if you are insane and also don't really have much of a sense of morality, then what you can do is right here add a char pointer to cast it, and then you can do %s, and then... Oh wow, C doesn't even give me a warning. That's really bad, because then you can do this. And what you get is the data that represents that function. Yep. Can I do like 100s, by the way? Does that change the maximum, or does it change the... Oh, it just gives... Cool. So if I do 1,000, I imagine it won't really change much, will it? Yeah, okay. There we go. The reason why I said that you should take this with a grain of salt is because I don't know exactly if that prints if this is just calling that spot in memory to execute. That's why you should take it with a grain of salt. It's likely that it's not. But then that would store just a further pointer and so on and so forth. But yeah. This code right here should explain it. Any questions? Because I didn't explain that all that well, class. I'll be honest with you, I didn't have anything ready for it, so I had to just use my own personal experience with C to explain it. So I imagine my explanation could be a bit subpar. Yeah, let's leave it for now. Let's finish rendering in the meantime. That's lovely, because now we can render the register thing. Oh, this will be a fun video, won't it? Real men flip the bits on the hard drive platter by hand with tweezers. Exactly. I don't know how the analog executes the right data. What do you mean? What do you mean by the right data? The thing is, that's the way that the computer differentiates between data and instructions is simple. We just like keep track of what's data, keep track of what's instructions. So, for example, in that program I just made, the compiler saves this as the instructions, right? Because that's the function. However, it saves this as the data because I have that as a variable. And if you lack any sort of morality, then what you could do is you could create a deletion queue, which actually stores an array of functions, in which case you would have a block of data that was instructions that got turned into data. But for that, you would have to be just chaotic. Why is there like hashtags there? Why is there hashtags there? It's for the... I don't remember what they do. Whatever. Usage. Del Q variables. that's such a great usage, I do have to say. Oh yeah, because I had to do it with... and then commit del Q. I remember it was really dumb. Real women wait until particles from space collide to the computer to flip bits. Exactly, that's... I agree. So you store shit, that shit store is the task of the kernel. Can't tell if that's a question or a statement, honestly. So you store shit, that shit store is the task of the kernel. But you know what? I dig it. Coding. Hi, the eons. Yes, coding indeed. Now the thing is, screwing around with pointer functions is a bit of a hobby horse of mine because I especially like working with DLLs. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense because of the profile picture. Hi, they made it. Hi. I didn't recognize you. Why do you all always change your nicknames and stuff? You heat the oven hot, they call the food. Do you know that they call it the oven because you oven the hot out of the cold food into oven? And we're not doing this again. Because I don't really my first name. You can have other nicknames that aren't your first name. That's a thing. Last part was a question, and the hashtag makes a comment in Python if you wanted to know. Hashtag makes a comment in Python, however, this is not Python, this is C. And hashtags in C serve as macro for the compiler. Hence why I'm wondering what two hashtags do. I'm guessing they are they're like a blank for the variable, but that's a guess. I don't know. No, because function is still there. Yeah, no idea what they do. I could just look it up, but 7 seconds per frame. Still, there is nothing in this scene. Why is it taking 7 seconds? And you did have my first name, so I had to change it. Confusing. Just confusing. Just change your first name. It's much simpler. Bloom, what do you mean, Bloom? I hate it when people call it Bloom, by the way. Because whenever someone calls it Bloom, I know that you know Black Thunder, but whenever someone calls it Bloom, what I do in the comment section, it sounds to me like they're assuming that I'm using Eevee, which I find insulting. Because this is all ray traced for you. You're welcome. So that they would look nice and proper. Ah, ha ha ha. Anyway, we could also do some 3D designing for physical items. I'm playing around with my gears. This time I'm not playing around with my balls because I don't have many left. Oh, nothing like some friction on PLA. Nothing like some PLA friction. Yum. I think it actually came out exactly as it was supposed to. That's what I'm doing right now. This was the last part I printed. I think it works exactly like it's supposed to, yeah. I would need to power the motor to actually see if it works. Yeah, but there's the reflections and emissive taxes make it take forever. Actually, no. Reflections are fine. Emission is also fine. It's the volume that's the killer. Volume just kill it. If I was rendering this without the volume, it would go 7 times faster. But I need the volume. How am I supposed to live without the volume? It needs the nice, just glowy effect, you know? Not if you need both kidneys. You know what? Fair point. The reason why God gave us 2 kidneys is... There's a reason why God gave us a spare kidney. That's all I'm gonna say. And when I say God, I obviously am referring to myself. Hold on, let me just... There's no volume, it's silent. That shouldn't have made me laugh. That was dumb. You know what? Fine. You get a chuckle out of me. Ended. But that was a very dumb bit. If you listen, if the stream dies all of a sudden, then that means I messed up what I'm doing right now. If it doesn't, however, and you just hear like a really loud noise, that means I didn't mess up what I'm doing right now. Wouldn't that be lovely? Fuck. Moving. Anyway, how are your days going? Because I know you can't see what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry for the awkward silence, but y'all just haven't been mentioning any topics of conversation. I personally am quite boring, so as a person, I didn't want to start one. Okay. Holy shit, is alive. Alright. I'm done. I'm done with real life stuff. Back to Blender. Don't worry, I'm back. I like drinking water and having human hobbies. Oh, me too. Man, when the weather is when it is, am I right? Great, it's 3 o'clock at night. Oh, in the same time zone. Would you look at that? Ah, alright. Fuck, counter one. No, all piss is more devastating than the swearing. Also, no cussing! My goodness, no cussing, Black Thunder, even though you're calling me. That converts a number into a list that is binary, if read from left to right. Cool, that sounds neat. And there we go, this is finished. I should have really looked ahead in the script to see what I was supposed to do next instead of saying it. Basically, what was 0 or a 1 or a 10 or 125. How? Well, that's simple. Because if you recall second video in the series, you should know how to read binary numbers. Okay, so right here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do just 100 to 1, and we're just going to have this switch from... I really shouldn't be animating it this way. Ha ha ha. My Windows is just having a stroke, isn't it? Did you see that, or was it just me? Where just like all of a sudden this disappeared and Blender in the back just like popped forward and backwards? More application decision. I'm rethinking that decision. I grew up in England around tradies. I can't help it. What are tradies? It's just tradespeople. Tradies is such a British word. That sounds like something British. You know what? The problem I'm having with the thing that I built is that the gear is a bit small. And as such... Well, there are two problems actually. But we can fix them. So here's an idea. Basically, right here, what we need is... we need another hole to the side of this one. Open recent front plates. Right, cut extrude. Which one are you? This one. Okay, great. We need another hole. That would be a bit to the side. And a bit smaller, so 3.3. And it will be just 10 units away, I suppose. There might be a bit of an issue, but it's gonna be fine. 3.3, and then what? Well, then the height has to match. That's not what I meant. I meant like height-wise. There we go. 0. I'm certain there's a better way to do it than just 0 like this, but who cares? There we go. We've got a hole, and that hole is, just to remember, again, it is 10 away. Cool, neat. Next, what we want is we want to open recent cork, open my cork, and then at the very bottom, we want my mother said I was Italian. They cannot stop cussing. Yeah, let's have them be like this. Let's have it be 3. This 6. There we go. Then .3. Perfect. Can I trim the inside? No, I cannot. Alright, so I guess none of that. What is the dimension here? 22. We don't need that much, although 10 will be the center, so like a 20 should be fine though. A problem. Intersecting contours. Yeah, they be intersecting. Do I need to trim them like this? Why is this empty now? That's not what I meant at all. Why are you empty? There we go. That works. Perfect. Now, what we want is we want another extrude right here, sketch. And then from a circle on the same height, have it be 3.3. Fuck, I need to stop cussing, exactly. And then select the middle to the middle and have it be 10. I think I've overdone it with the rectangle. Okay, extrude. $15. There we go. That looks like a more functional cork. Now let's see, assembled. Yeah, rebuild the assembly. They are a bit off center, damn it! No! Mate them. We need to mate them together. You need to be mated. Okay, so I think the issue is that this is over-defined. I think. I don't know. Or maybe we just got the measurements wrong? We might have gotten the measurements wrong. Because this all looks pretty correct to me. Oh no, this is a bit off. Okay. So delete this. And then can we just set these up in parallel? None of these are doing anything. I don't mean to be that guy. If I go to sleep after like 3 at night, it is the only time of day I get hungry. This is fair. Hold on. Which one of these? Let me just delete this one as well. Okay, now if I mate them together. Why you like this? Shouldn't you? Why ain't you mating? Mate properly. Prevent mate errors. Why does it always happen to me? Plate to cork. Oh, it's mated. Is it mated with the perpendicular plate? It is. I knew it. I knew something was off. There we go. Now let's mate. There we go. Got there in the end. Perfection. Yeah, this is an unnecessarily big cut, but I mean, whatever, who cares? It's also a bit too low, apparently. Are both these mates proper? There we go. This looks kinda good, I'd say. Sick, neat, fantastic, lovely. Now what we need to do is open up this one. File export as STL. As front plate 2. Yeah, keep going. And then this one, file export as cork 3. There we go, exporting my cork. Now, all I need to do is just print them. Print my cork, print my plate. And then it all should be proper good. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean to open a new one. Whoops. Don't save it. Print. There we go. Anyway, I think that actually might be it for today's stream. We did a fair bit of work. We did... hold on. Let's hear from Jesse before we end. Jesse, how you doing? Me too, Jesse. Me too. Anyway, we did a fair bit. We did a fair bit lot. We did some animations. We did some modelings. And... yeah, it was all good. Anyway, for now, I suppose that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching. And have a great day. Bye.